All right, y'all, welcome to the stream. It is now 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern Time. This is the Options Millionaire Bookmap co-stream. Welcome. We do this every Wednesday, and every Wednesday we're trying to figure out the price action with what's going on in the markets versus the order book on Bookmap. Today we have an extremely slow week, seller's day. Just kind of moving on down while every single red candle is still bottom wick. So I still don't recommend short positions here. It's just not conducive to being profitable until things start to get a little liquidation, because we are still getting another high volume bottom wick now that we're forming at 10:30. We have liquidity all the way up to 30,200 on NASDAQ. The S&P is doing the same thing. We just have another high volume bottom wick at 7,800. Yeah, buddy. The new stream link is now posted in the chat. We have liquidity up to 30,200 and down to 29,525 on NASDAQ. The S&P has, 7827, 780. Very, very light day on the order book. In fact, the lightest days of the week so far in the order book, which is normal because Wednesday is the most boring day of the week, and Wednesday morning is the most boring morning of the week. So everything is typically pretty light and choppy on Wednesdays. ES is 7,800 and still kind of creeping back over. If we take out that high volume bottom wick, then we'll probably shift down into 7,780 on the S&P. NASDAQ is doing the same. When a day like today begins, it's interesting because you spend all day, the first 2 days of the week, everyone's trying to short and they get destroyed. And then today they wake up and say, okay, it's been 2 days, I'm going to start longing today. And they start longing and they get destroyed. 3.5 billion calls sold. Liquidity down to 77.80. 77.80. I'm ready for an ad for Ozempic with this quality of stream. Do you have problems eating too many donuts? Do you like to eat a gallon of ice cream after a dinner? Ozempic may be for you. Yeah. 3.6 billion in calls sold, 1.4 billion in puts purchased, still down. Things are still trickling down. It's not waterfalling yet, which tells me their sellers are still weak. We're still not seeing hammered selling. You would think that after 270 points in 3 days on the S&P, that we would see some sellers hammering the tape. We're not seeing that. They're just kind of trickling things back over. Everything is bottom wicked, and we're just kind of grazing back lower. We still have another support to deal with on NASDAQ at 29.8. The S&P is kind of still doing the same thing. I'm still not a fan of shorting. We finally closed this little support at 77.95 on the S&P, heading to 77.81. Back down. What's up, Stephen? Good morning. Man, there's such light liquidity on the book. We have a very negative CVD as well, 6,700 and negative CVD. No real icebergs to consider. Another top wick on the S&P. Just trickling lower. $77.90. 3.7 billion calls sold. They're still selling a lot of calls. NASDAQ, 29,830, still dropping. Straight down. 170 points since the trigger. 3C triggered short. 130 points since then. Silver also triggered the short 3C at 62.72. And that's moving down. So the 3Cs are still working very well despite the fact that price action is extremely slow. $29,834 still dropping. 798 low target. That's the pivot right here. Yeah. 15-minute chart. We have a range coming up. We have Kennedy's trend line right here. Did we bounce the trend line? Right here at 7. I'm not interested in shorting this. This is the thing. I'm already getting the question, why aren't you shorting? Well, I haven't shorted the past. Well, I did short one trade on, what was that, Monday? But that's it. Longs everywhere else. I don't want to short this. I want to short this when it comes time. So, and if that's today, so be it. We'll get ourselves into a position, or if that's tomorrow. But yeah, we do have this little range here. We have this trend line coming up here. That's this channel that we need to pay attention to. No fair value gap either. There you go. Bring us to 800. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If it's anything like April, we won't even get into that. Yeah, 100% if we are. Yeah. I can't short after OM boot camp. You know what? On moves like this, though, when it's time to short, it's pretty obvious. The right side of the V is very obvious. And we all think about, oh, yeah, right side of the V, that's a great concept, until it comes time to wait for the right side of the V, and y'all just you turn into a bunch of jabronis, and you can't wait for the right side of the V. It's like dinner's in 15 minutes, but you want to eat snacks now. It's like, no, bro, that's why you need Ozempic. Stop attacking me. I love it. All right, $3.7 billion in calls sold. We have the support right here. I'm attacking you because I'm attacking myself. I'm a jabroni. I'm one of you. Gooble gobble. I've been doing a lot of 1 to 3 DTE in my personal account. Now doing some zeros on Propa Gumbo. It's very aggressive. Zeros opposite decay. Yep. Zero DTEs decay very aggressively. Very aggressively. Very slow sustained move down. What do you think, Kennedy? We bouncing this trend line or not? How much is options prop? They have a couple of different plans to choose from of various different complexities and price. I'm very interested in the selling options prop, though. That is, I think that if you want to learn how to sell options, I think that's a fantastic way to do it. Fantastic way to do it. 100%, man. I never even thought a prop firm would offer option selling. I mean, that's a new ballpark right there. Right here, 29,850. One of my fellow coworkers saw me looking at the charts and wants to learn. I sent her links to my complete guide to VPA and trading of the zone on Amazon, and read those a couple of times. Nice, Magabagouli. Hopefully, in another year, you can be like, "Hey, read this jabroni. He's got a great book on Amazon for $19.95." Written by some jabroni. This would be a glorious trend to break. It would. It would. I don't buy puts or calls anymore. It's completely changed my life for the better. I like it, routine. I like it. I want yesterday's price action back. I didn't take advantage of it enough. Well, the only person who did take advantage of the entire thing was Magabaguli. That dude killed it. Absolutely killed it. Jabroni is one of the funniest words to call someone. I like it. Yeah, we adopted that word a while ago. That was good stuff. I like that word. All right, claiming over 872 here would give us a 3C on the on NASDAQ. It's very slow, and I'm sure there's going to be some struggle and pain, but here's where we go. They're selling off a whole crap ton of puts, too. Puts are starting to rocket back up to positive delta. I'm not convinced that this is the move to undo yesterday's action. This is very weak. I think they're just regathering inventory. The buyers are just kind of stepping out, having a smoke break, going to play a couple of rounds of golf, relaxing a little bit, and then they're going to come back. They're going to jump back in the race car, and they're going to hit the gas pedal. It's just waiting. This is not the reversal candle that the bears want. NVIDIA hits a 2-month high in share price. Absolutely. That's right, Dr. Devious Phil. That's right. All right, 29,884 NASDAQ. Right here, we have a whole bunch of put selling and a whole bunch of, well, calls doing nothing. ES is still holding here. I went from having a moderately okay profits but spending massive amounts of effort into micromanaging positions and options to being able to sit back and let my futures work themselves out, averaging 5-digit returns weekly for 2 months. I'm never going back. Highly suggest you give options a break if you're addicted to them like I was. I like it. I like it. Is there any maximum profit stop per day on options funded? Yeah, so they do have a consistency rule. That's the way they don't have someone wipe them out, because here we go. Now we're starting to pull away after a 3C. Say 870 NASDAQ coming back up right into the morning low retest of 900. Beautiful stuff. The number one benefit to the options prop firm is not to get you scalping 0DTE options. I don't want you doing that. I don't want you doing it in your live account or in your personal account, and I don't want you doing it in the prop firm. If you're going to use this prop firm to trade options, do not do zeros. You need to be doing swing trading and SPX here and there if you need to, if you want to do some overnight closeout positions. Or even some long-term day trades, or some day trades with some long-term expirations. But I'm not doing this so you can sit there and scalp 0DTEs. Don't do it. What do you think about the energy oil data that came out about 15 minutes ago? I didn't see it. Overall, oil's been back and forth, kind of reacting to the Iranian news, which is still not necessarily getting any better. I'm still paying almost $4 a gallon of gas in my neck of the woods, which is incredibly high. So, yeah, not the best. They just sold off every single put they purchased. That's $2 billion in puts sold. They're retesting the morning range right here at 29,900 in a rejection, like rightfully so. $29,800 liquidity on Bookmap. Man, look at that 15 minute here. 30 minute, 60 minute, 120, 240. I tried to play some trend lines along, like when Kennedy first kind of been showing me some trend lines, I tried to get into it and learn a little bit and play it. It's like trend lines would work absolutely perfectly until I tried to trade the trend lines, and then they would just blow right through it like they weren't even there. So obviously I don't know how to read trend lines at all. They're fun to look at, but I can't trade them, period. So I don't even consider it anymore. Play the breaks. Yeah. I'll stick to my VPA and Fibonacci's and I'll be just fine, but man, it's crazy. All right, we're back. Just had my internet bleep on me there. Bookmap liquidity to 808. I plotted them. It looks like they worked until I entered them. Yeah, and then they would blow right through. It's crazy. ES is coming down, 77.86. Right down here. ES previous day low. You think it's going down all the way? Mojo? Oh, whoa. Something just happened. What happened? Something just hit. We just had a tremendous amount of call selling hit, about $1 billion worth, and then boom, smoking it. Smoking it. High volume. Something just hit. Dang. Yeah, calls are still getting sold like crazy. $4 billion in calls sold. 4.4 now. They just put on $1 billion of calls sold there right before that candle hit. Tremendous red candle. And they're going down. Did we get streamed back live? Yeah, we're live. They need a 4-hour to hourly trends of considering a bounce. Anything less is fair game for a break. Any break of an hourly trend line, a significant algorithm change should be played. The best breaks happen on low volume and become a high volume drop. 1-3C up, and then a continuous with the hourly trend line test. Nice. Yeah, tremendous call selling. Definitely. Very decent little downtrend here. It's slow, but they're beginning to hold a downtrend. Rocking and rolling. Next target would be 700 if they held this. Here's the hourly chart. This is the most bearish candle that we have had since Friday. We're coming on the 50% of yesterday's range. 750. Overnight lows coming down to 777. Triple sevens. I still want to know what the crap that was. Prime Minister Sharif and Army Chief Munir are going to visit Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Yeah, I don't see anything that would cause that. Nice bottom wick again, 29,960. Kind of pivoting into overnight low position with volume. Tremendously high volume bounce right there at 29,786. Both across the board. I do think they are going to bounce this soon. I do think they are going to bounce this soon. At least 29.9. Yeah. Bouncing the 5-minute SMA. There you go. Haven't liked this day as much as the past 2 days. It's been boring. I'm not shorting, so I'm just kind of doing a lot of watching today, not a lot of doing anything. Am I going to get the Truth Social API subscription? What is that, $100K a month? Negative. Negative. I make good money, but I don't make that good. Who do you think I am, Patrick Whalen? I'd like to see a morning low retest. Yeah. Market record purchasing would kind of make the next day feel bland. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Nice bottom wick again. That's 2 bottom wicks off this area, and this one with high volume. We are about to get our first 3C long that we've had since the morning. How is that legal to charge for a Truth Social market info from the president? Oh, man. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Is the VIX doing some weird prints? Let me take a look. Yes. So the VIX just rocketed 1846 and back down. Maybe testing out the upper limits of the VIX there. 100%, Dan. 100%. Yeah, yeah. That is hilarious, Walker. That is hilarious. All right, they are selling off the puts. There's such light liquidity. It's always light on Wednesdays. We have 100 lots sitting at 77.95, which looks large, but it's not. It's large compared to what's on the book. Which app is this? You are looking at TradingView. That is the charts I use for trading in conjunction to Bookmap. Just launched my first iron condor in several days. Nice mojo. Think we still have one more leg down? Maybe. This isn't the most confident in price action, so it's whatever. I'm not stressing anything here. We're just a creeping. 4.3 billion calls sold. Silver still holding the 3C, barely holding onto the 3C at 62.72. VIX is doing some weird stuff. I'm about to snooze. All right. Am I worried about the DXY at all? I don't track it very much anymore. I used to follow that a lot, but it didn't give me any value from a trading perspective. It just made me worry a little bit in my personal life about the economy and stuff, but not about trading, so I stopped following it. I'm very curious how interest rates are going to go, though, especially someone like me who's heavily invested in real estate. The fact that interest rates are already sky high and everything is ridiculously expensive. And now we got the Fed start talking about they want to go on a hike cycle again up until 2027. So what do we get 12% mortgage rates now? So it's insane, man. It's insane. I mean, credit cards are going to go to like 40% APY. I'm mainly FFG for now. If there's no fair value gap, what's the next thing you look for? For me, it's my goal is to let the market tell me what to do in terms of structure. So we could think bullish, bearish. We could bring our emotions and thoughts into where that we think this is going to go and feel it's going to go. But honestly, I don't want to long anything on any session until I see structure that's going to tell me the bulls are going to bring the market higher. And you have to do that through a little bit of order book management. You have to do it through the VPA 3C process. Right now, we're starting to see a nice bottom like a 29.78, which is only one component with volume. But after that, we need to see the order book is ready to go higher. And I always try to make a statement that us as traders, typically, most of us are trading exclusively off of trading candles. The visual aspect of trading, the visual representation of the order book, which is red and green candles. Typically, mine are presented in green and white. But understanding all right, well, if the order book, if you're thinking about sales on anything in life, if the numbers aren't going up, then there's something wrong. Either the price isn't cheap enough or there's no buyers. So here, there's no buyers yet. The buyers have begun to hit the product here at 29,780, but they're not ready to start buying the crap out of this inventory yet. Either for some reason, the market's not ready to start buying or the price is too low. And once we start to see those sale numbers tick up, then we can start to, all right, here comes the buying frenzy. And that's what I'm looking for. That's like the concept of VPA and understanding price action. So when we start to put in a higher high here, which is roughly, 880 to 900 on NASDAQ, we could start to anticipate with a reasonable degree of certainty that the right side of the V is going to form, and we could play up to 30,000 again. So, yeah. The bottom wick and the volume will tell me where. The third C tells me how, when. And that's what I'm looking to do here. Iran says there are no plans for foreign minister to come to Pakistan or Qatar this week. What's weird is that every single thing that's posted about the Iranian news or conflict, Iran immediately comes out and says, that's not true. That's not real. That's not happening. We don't know what to believe. All right, bottom wick is still in progress here. Oh, you're fine, Jeff. No worries. No worries. Does that surprise me? Not at all. S&P is hanging out 77.88. We have the second highest volume candle of the day here at 1050. That did result in a bottom wick. But 70, we still need to put in a higher high here. SpaceX partners with NVIDIA to design StarMind. It's a space data center satellite payload. All right, and we're back. We're back. Gas is back to 470 here, and people are angry. Yeah. It's insane, man. Gas is exploding again. Unrelated, but we had to sell a bunch of euros to help temporarily stabilize Japan. Yep. I saw that, man. I think the Fed has to do that. You know, they kind of framed it in a way that Japan is our friend. Japan is our ally, but we know the truth, and this is the fact that the Fed had to do that because if Japan dumped treasuries on a bear market, on the treasury bear market that's already historic, I mean, it's going to crater the economy. So they had to do that, and they sold all the euros to make that happen. NASDAQ 29,820. Wild. It is wild. Super. Yeah, definitely. 15-minute is showing this little range at the 29,800. The S&P is straight getting drilled on the 15-minute. S&P feels like slowly unloading. Try not to spook the market. Hey, that was a quick candle. What happened here? That's the second time they've done that. with a quick shake and bake candle. Another high volume bottom wick. I'm about to start nibbling. I'm about to start nibbling, homies. I'm about to start nibbling. Yeah. I've been about as patient as I could possibly be today. My fingers are starting to sweat. That is like 15 high volume spikes into this area. All right. Let's see what happens here. If this was 1751, it would be hanging over every single one of these clowns. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gap fill? Where do you mean gap fill? You talking about the? Are you talking about down at the at yesterday's lows? Yeah. We have multiple high volume bottom wicks in this area here. Oh, and that one was with tremendous volume. We keep getting super high volume here into the overnight low position. This is the longest I've waited to take a trade in like a week and a half. Sold the rips today because of how overextended the charts were. Nice. Do I use volume delta? I use cumulative volume delta on the book to gauge sentiment, but my primary 3C system uses volume with price action wick. I see bottom wicks on Tesla, Microsoft, SpaceX is going up. We have Amazon is starting a bottom wick there. We have NASDAQ is barely bottom wicking here again. And we're trying to get something going here. Trying to get something going. They're selling a bunch of puts. They're not buying any puts here. They were at about $1.7 billion in puts sold. They've sold those all the way back off to positive delta now. So that's still in primarily a put selling environment. We're coming up on London close here. London close in about 7 minutes. There's so light liquidity on the book, it's almost non-existent. Non-existent. Any liquidity we do have, it's 77.87, which would be about a 10-point move upwards from here, if the buyers can hold at this high volume bottom wick candle right here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yes, high volume bottom wick. NASDAQ, high volume bottom wick. We got to clear this 845, and that'll get us up to 897 or 900, which is the morning low retest. Nice, Twizzy. Well done. Well done. Yeah, excellent bottom wick across the board. Fantastic. It's fantastic. We have 5 minutes until London close. 5 minutes. I need to listen to more pump music. My music is way too soft, so it's like I feel like calm. 77.87 would be my first target for ES if we can hold this. NASDAQ would be about 900, which would be the morning low test again. 3 for 3 on fundeds, 2 fundeds, no trades. Nice, Twizzy. Excellent stuff, buddy. Excellent stuff. So slow. So slow. One of the hardest days to trade? Well, it's just a very patient day to trade. It's very, very slow. We've got to be patient. And I've been as patient as I can possibly be today in terms of waiting for the next move. I'm still not a fan of doing much shorting in this environment. Time will come. That's all right, Dave. Just take notes. Come back tomorrow. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Oh, man. 3 minutes. Let it close. What y'all got for me? This is a pretty boring price action. ES is kind of slipping lower, 77.80. NASDAQ still is just kind of chilling right here after the bounce. We have 3 high volume bounces on NASDAQ defending the overnight low position. But still, the buyers won't show up. Still, the buyers won't show up. I was going to copy trade a few today, but pansied out. Of course, it was my best trade of the day. Nice. That's all right. I'll pick the perfect top of any bounce. The 10-minute ranges are gigantic on NASDAQ, and they keep refilling the wicks back the other way. Yeah, they're just wiki stuff. But you have to think. You have to zoom out though. Look at the zoomed out environment. After this much buying, we have a weak, slow, grindy seller's day. They're not hammering this thing and they're not dumping it back over. It's just trickling. Any hunting trips this year? Oh, 100%, man. You know, it's almost hunting season. My kids want to hunt because they love, they love trying to get the big bucks. I don't care. I'm there for the meat. Man. I want freezer full of deer. The way we do things is we do a lot of ground deer. We grind it up ourselves, process it ourselves. And then whenever we cook like ground beef or hamburgers or spaghetti or anything like that, we do half and half deer and beef, so it makes it go further. It's actually quite fantastic. Highly recommend it. You don't even tell that it's deer once you mix in a little bit of beef. We put in a couple of we put our names in the hat for an auction for an elk hunt, but we'll see if we actually get it. That'd be nice. Venison's very healthy. Yeah, a lot of vitamins. How does that work? So they give a limited number of tags for elk. Yeah, and then they draw. You put your name in a hat, and they draw your name to see if you actually get selected for the tag, so you can go hunt them. All right, here's London close. Either one. You know, I put my name in a couple of different states, but yeah, either one. Elk is fantastic, like elk jerky, fantastic. Yeah, buddy, I love it. Couple of bottom wicks still forming. Can they hold it and give us a move up? Are there elk here in Alaska? Oh, there's a bunch of elk. Yeah. I've never won the lotto for elk or moose. I've always wanted to do moose hunting though. Like hunting a bunch of meese sounds like the best thing ever. It's always been my dream to go hunt some meese. Do I have gold? I have lots of gold. I shot an elk here in Texas Hill County. Bucket list moment for sure. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I'm short NASDAQ, exclamation mark, 28,983 entry. You shorted the lows? Interesting. That's dangerous, bro. That is dangerous, good sir. Dangerous. I just traded some moose meat last week. Nice. We don't have moose and caribou. Be super careful about ticks. My brother-in-law's bro was a former Air Force like me. 50 acres like me. Weird. Went hunting last week and we just talked and wondering why he wasn't eating the smoked ribs. He said he has alpha-gal syndrome now and almost died twice. Dang. He did notice till after months of the trip he noticed a Lone Star tick. Bite and leave. Yeah, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. I hope I don't get that. I like meat too much. My diet is like 90% meat. All right. I'm going to be a bit stingier with my trailing stop on this move than yesterday or the day before, simply because, yeah, we'll see here. Everyone here should join Discord. Nobody is a better teacher than OM. Thanks, John. I appreciate you, buddy. I try my best to teach y'all and point y'all in the right direction. 100%. Jabronis. Right here. I have a buddy that got that, then recovered. Wanted to get bitten again and got back to it. Yeah, it's not good, man. I couldn't do that. We pretty much stay out of the woods though in deep summertime. We do all of our woodwork and deep in the woods in the fall, winter, and spring. Another massive bottom wick again. NASDAQ. S&P's creeping. Right here. Been trying to join, but Discord is not making it easy. I'll see if I can help you out. See what I can do for you. Apparently the alpha gal comes from mice. At least in the nature, like a tick will bite the mouse and then transfer it to you. The caribou are hard to track. They keep changing their migration routes. They're killing a lot of brown bears and trying to get them to come back further south. It's phone number stuff. Yeah. Do I fish? I love to fish. I just don't do much of it. I don't get to do much of it. I don't have a lot of time. I used to be a big golfer too, but can't do that. All right, we have a little dump over with an instant bottom wick. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with this after that bottom wick, but the bulls are still holding on, but that flush almost got carried away there for a second. The size of a moose is insane. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. All right, y'all. That just blew right through 11:30. So that is the end of our stream. Unfortunately, we have to lock it up. We only get an hour together. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning for another fantastic stream and another fantastic day. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm out. See you.